So Darren, what did you do before you were lender?
Well, I actually have a background in music and sound engineering. Part of my background is that.
That was your plan.
That was my plan back in the day.
Uh-huh.
But I got a dose of reality. Like, for example, one time we had a band in the studio. I was recording a little rock band, and they came in and rehearsed and sounded pretty bad actually. But I thought, they're just warming up. And the guitar player comes in to play his part. He was a 18-year-old roughly. So I hit the record button, and he plays one of the worst solos I've ever heard in my life. Like, it sounded like cats fighting. It was terrible. It was the absolute worst. Yeah, but like he'd known the guitar for a month. Once he was done, I just said, "Well, okay, you're gonna cut that again. Let's do it for real this time, right?" And he said, "Oh no, that's good. Leave it there. Let's take it." So he kept it. That was their album.
So people are always asking me for Mark in a Minute, where do you come up with your information, all the stuff of where we're heading and stuff? Well, I've got good friends like Ike Ikame here, and he is a professor of finance and economics over at UVU. Ike, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Jay. I appreciate it.
So what do we see going on right now?
Well, what's going on right now is back in May, the Fed announced that they were going to be ending their quantitative easing program. And so it created some volatility in the stock market. People were scared. But that's good news. That's great news. The reason they want to do it is because they feel that the economy is getting better. So quantitative easing was put in place to artificially suppress interest rates and stimulate
lower down the interest rate, right?
Lower down the interest rates, stimulate spending, stimulate investment.
And it
dollars.
worked.
It worked.
Beautifully.
It worked great.
So our economy is now doing really well.
Our economy is doing a lot better. Unemployment is coming down, jobs are being created in the private sector, things are looking great. So the government is thinking about pulling back on that program. Now what happens when they do, of course, is people can expect rates to go up. Now you have some people who've been wondering, well, you know what, I missed out on buying a house a year or two ago and taking advantage of the double-digit increases in home values. Should I get in now?
Or should I wait, right?
Should I wait? Absolutely. Well, you definitely want to get in at this point because the market and the economies and the economists and the bankers, they all know that rates are going up. Bankers are excited. Financial institutions are excited. They can't wait, right? Higher rates, more money for them.
That's right.
Right. So if you're waiting to buy the house now, or if you're standing on the sidelines and down the road as the government pulls out and the rates are higher, you're going to be spending more on that mortgage.
Instead of more on your house, you're going to be spending more on the interest rate.
That's going to go to the banks and financial institutions that are on the sidelines and getting excited and getting ramped up for rates to go up. So even if you didn't take advantage a couple years ago of the double-digit increase in the home values, you still have something to look forward to in getting in on the market now.
That's right.
And that has to do with
the best interest rate.
That has to do with the interest rate component of buying a house.
That's it. And that's exactly what we've been talking. We've been talking about we're going to see appreciation continue, but also the actual prices going up as well as the interest rates going up. And so now's a really good time to buy. So we've been talking a lot about this property that U.S. Luxury Group is going to be auctioning off on September 14th. And I've actually got the listing agent here, which is Lori Jackson with Hudson Associates.
Yes.
And so now tell me, how long have you had the listing for now?
I've had it since April this year.
Uh-huh. And so when you first got it, were you confident it was going to sell, or did you have reservations, or what were you feeling?
I had a lot of reservations. I was excited about it, but at the same time I was really nervous because I didn't know how I was going to market such a different, unique property.
Because it is so unique, right?
Yes.
It won't appeal. The funny thing about this house, it won't appeal to that many people, but the people that it'll appeal to on a great level.
Yes.
And so how did you get in contact with U.S. Luxury Group? How did that happen?
Dean and Matt came over and contacted me, and they asked me if that was something my client might be interested in, and so I said, well, let's have a meeting and see. So I talked with them, and it sounded really great to me, so I introduced them to Keith.
Okay, and so how did Keith, at first, how did he take the whole idea?
At the meeting, he sounded great, like he was really excited about it, but then he had a little reservation,
Naturally, right?
Naturally, but yeah, then we they're great. They're awesome. They came in and they showed him the excitement and the marketing budget and everything, and he got right on board.
So we know traditional real estate and how to market, right?
Right.
Because we've done it for a long time.
Oh, yes.
But how are these guys doing it differently? What have you seen?
Well, I've done the traditional real estate just like you, and I can't even tell you how amazing it is. I mean, they just come in and they just kick butt, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, they do it totally different than what we're used to.
Yeah, and the reason why is because this is different than the normal type of real estate that we sell, right?
It's completely different.
Yeah, and so it
Completely
needs
different.
a new way of getting this done, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
And so have you seen a lot of advertising, or what do you see?
I mean, besides all the advertising, we've seen, like I said earlier, with the paper and the ads. I mean, everything, the open houses and everything that's coming through.
The stager, they got the house all prepared and
Yeah,
everything.
we have people that they're afraid they're gonna, they have to bid before the auction actually happens.
So people are actually excited enough
Yeah.
that they're trying to figure out if
They're trying to crunch numbers right now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because they're nervous they might lose
Yeah,
this thing.
I'm getting calls all the time.
And that's kind of exactly what we're looking for, right?
Right.
And ideally in real estate, we're looking to get two buyers against each other, because then
And
they're
drive
going to
it
get
up.
excited and drive the price up.
And
And that's
drive it up.
exactly what they're doing,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
And so you got on board then, and the process has been going through. How many people you have coming to the open house and stuff?
Oh, the open house is crazy. The first weekend we had over 100, and the second we had almost 200.
Oh, really?
And
so
a
when you
lot
first,
of energy.
So how long did you have it before you got involved, listed before you got involved with U.S. Luxury Group? How long did you have it for?
I had it in April.
April?
And I only had about a handful of people come through because it's hard for me to market, this kind of big, unique, different kind of house.
There's only so many ways to do it, right?
Right,
And so now you have all these people coming through, and so would you say there's medium excitement or low excitement, or where do you
There
think?
is all kinds of excitement, and it's different, but most of it is very, very positive.
And so when we first were talking about numbers with the seller, what he was hoping to get, is he thinking he should get more now, or is he thinking he should get less?
Yes, it's going up.
He keeps changing his
Yeah,
mind, like, oh, we're
yes.
going to get this much, but now we're going to get that much.
Uh-huh.
Well, I tell you, we are super excited to tune in and see how this whole thing
And I am
goes.
too.
I know, right?
Yes.
A lot of excitement because this is an absolute auction. I mean, this thing's the hammer's going to hit and it's going to be over. We don't know if it's going to be low or it's going to be high, and so we're actually going to be showing this on the program. So you'll be sure to want to tune in for this. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks for tuning into this week's show. We've heard and seen a lot of really good things about this property, which is the Good Karma Lodge, that they're going to be auctioning off on September 14th. If you'd like more information about this property, one of the other properties US Luxury Group is working on, go to usluxurygroup.com. Their last open house is going to be held here on September 13th between 1 and 4 o'clock. We're going to be doing a remodel show coming up very soon, and we'd like some of your projects to be featured on our show. And so if you have something you're working on, I don't care if it's a single room or a whole house, send us something on Facebook. You can find us on Real Estate Essentials with Jay Deher. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk with you soon here on Real Estate Essentials.